Hello. I'm gonna start making him smoke outside. I keep hearing him fucking coughing. So, hello to all. To all is here, and whoever may see the show at some point down the line. So, I might actually tell them to go smoke outside. I'm not even playing. Anyway, but so yeah. So apparently I picked a bad time to stream, but that is okay. But anyway. So I've seen some really strange stuff in the news. We've all seen some really strange stuff in the news for months, year, at least a year. And hi, Price. How are you? Maybe I picked a weird time of the day. If I wait too late to stream, then everybody's going to be streaming. So there's no way to win. And I cannot get this shirt to stop staticking. Like, it's just not, it's not having it. I've adjusted it so many times. It's like, not the shirt, I mean the like, thing. She stretches stuff all the time. It's called people. You're not wrong. Like, you're actually quite right. It's very much what this is actually about. Is the humans acting strange. I saw something I actually kind of wanted to stream about it as soon as I saw it, but I just kind of couldn't. But let me go get my profile ready. That's where I send stuff I find interesting. Oh, what's gone too far? Everything. The way we treat people, the extent we're willing to go. Hi, Dave Myers. Like, all right, I'll share one of the articles. This isn't the article that originally got my attention, but it's really sad. Ooh, it always looks weird when that happens. I saw this today, and I thought this was just terrible. I mean, it's clever that there's thought of filling the glove with warm water to simulate the person's hand being held. But the fact that it's at this extent is terrible. Because, like, what if somebody, is able to suit up and go in and spend time with their loved ones as they're dying? But we're in different places, they're preventing that from happening. I mean, can they not wear a mask, gloves, and suit up? You know what? I'm about to send them outside to smoke. Like, I got like 2 doors closed, and I can still hear them. God. Anyway, but stuff like this is very depressing. That more is not being allowed to visit their loved ones and say goodbye because of this virus. We didn't do this when H1N1 was going around. We didn't act like this when there was a measles outbreak in 2015. We didn't do this with the swine flu. Oh, actually, I think swine flu is H1N1. Sorry, with bird flu, we didn't act like this. And so many people are dying alone because of a virus that's not even as bad as the swine flu and bird flu. Let me go over here because I can't see the chat. See the video I DM'd you. When did you do that? Because I haven't checked my DMs in a little bit. But, oh, meow. Always like a meow. I'll have to go look at it. Yeah, sorry, I have to come back over here because when you can see stuff on the screen, it means I cannot see you. So I had to come back and check the chat. But I'm about to show you the article that has made me wonder if we've just gone too far. Because, I mean, granted, we've seen videos of Karens of every kind. the kind that will go in and like yell at people to put on a mask. We have Karens that would yell at people to take off the mask, like you're being controlled. We kind of are, but we're doing it to ourselves. We are doing this to ourselves. This morning it ties into the article like this. By the time it was my turn to get the swine flu shot, I already got it and recovered. Fair enough. But we didn't lock down the planet like this. We didn't prevent people from going and say goodbye to their loved ones. One of my friends has a heart issue, and his doctor apparently told him that if he didn't get the shot, he wouldn't give him his medicine. That's insane. That's insane to threaten somebody, well, I just won't give you your heart medicine if you don't take the shot. Are you fucking kidding me? I hope he sues him. Because a doctor is supposed to do the best they can by you. They're like, all right, well, if you don't take the shot, I'm going to be kind of concerned, but here's your heart medicine. And I wish you well. But you're sitting there like withholding life-saving medicine because you want to stick them with something that it's still experiment. It's still being experimented. It's still being tested. It will be an experimental phase until at least next year or the year after. And so the fact that even happened shouldn't have. I saw a story by someone else who was threatened they were going to withhold her chemo treatment if she didn't take the shot. And one of the comments had a good point, because supposedly we're supposed to take these shots because other people can't. So if we're threatening heart patients and threatening cancer patients to withhold their medicines if they don't take the shot, exactly who are we taking shots for if it's not supposed to be for the people who are sick? This has gotten completely out of hand. No doctor should ever threaten such a thing. Ever. They're supposed to give you what they can to help you as much as you allow them to do. Doctors are supposed to work for you. You don't work for them. Anyway, so to show you an example of how outlandish everything has gotten, like I couldn't believe I saw this, but I'm going to hop back over here and I am going to play this for you. I hope screen share is working.
Years, the volcano sent a thick cloud of smoke 20,000 feet into the sky, spewing ash for miles. Cruise ships are evacuating people from the island, but only those vaccinated against COVID. After the first volcanic eruption there in more than 40 years, the volcano sent a thick cloud of smoke 20,000 feet into the sky, spewing ash for miles. Cruise ships are evacuating people from the island, but only those vaccinated against COVID.
What in the fuck? So what if the person didn't have access to get the shot? What if they didn't have access to that in the first place and it wasn't even their choice? They're evacuating people from where a volcano is erupting, but only if they've been vaccinated for COVID. So they're going to leave the other people there to die? Is that their plan? That sounds horrid. We've taken this shit entirely too fucking far. The idea that you would leave people on an island to possibly die from a volcano and evac only the people who've gotten a shot is insane. I mean, if you're that worried about it, you could have part of the ship where the people have been vaccinated and the other half not. But to leave people behind in that kind of danger because they didn't get a shot is insane. We've taken this whole thing has gone too far. Absolutely too far. I don't know what cruise ship that is, but I hope they are sued beyond belief. That is an insane thing. There are some people in the Caribbean that are so poor they may not have access to that kind of stuff if they chose to. So if they don't have, the Caribbean is probably a nice place for a lot of people, especially if you got money, but maybe for the locals, maybe it's not so great. There's a lot of places that are that way. When I saw that, phase 1, 9 months, 2, 18, 3, 36. Okay, so it's doubling, but I'm confused. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little confused by that. But I'm still horrified at the idea that they could do that. Oh, okay. I will go take a gander at it in a second. But yes. But since BL Group got here just now, I don't know if you saw the video, but basically there was a volcano erupting, but they're only going to evac the people who have had a COVID shot. Like, they're literally leaving everybody test the vax. Oh, okay, that's how you, okay, that's the phase of, well, yeah, that's the phase of normal testing. That's like, I think that's once it gets into testing on humans. From like what I read sometime late last year, I think they were testing on animals, and it didn't go so well. You did see it, yes. And I also told them about our friend who was blackmailed for his heart medicine, told that he wouldn't be able to have his heart medicine if he didn't do the shot. No doctor, no person should ever put another person's life at risk at that point. And leaving them there for a volcano to get them, threatening them with their heart medicine if they don't do what they're told. Going to your doctor should not be a situation where you're sitting there getting blackmailed and extorted. It shouldn't be that way. And the ship easily, like I said, the ship could easily just have some on like one of the decks could be where the vaccinated people are, and another area or whatever could be where so that way everybody's fine. Like, fine, keep them separated if you want to, but to not get people out of harm's way from a volcano, are you fucking kidding me? I think we've hit peak ridiculousness. Like, and this is all stuff I've seen just in the last like month or two. I mean, the stuff I've seen in the last year is still pretty insane. I mean, I haven't personally dealt with this, but I have, like, we've all seen those videos where somebody would literally, yeah, it looks so weird once I share the screen, it looks huge. Yeah. Oh, they said they're evacuating everybody off the island as long as they've had a COVID shot, is what they said. So it's not just the tourists, it's the locals too, but like, I'm assuming, but they didn't say in the video. It was the way they said it, though. Craziest thing in the video shows the leaders trying to dangle our rights like carrots as if our rights come from them. Well, technically our rights aren't supposed to come from them. The thing is, we're doing this to each other. Like, our doctors work for us. And I understand the concept of everybody trying to work together, keep their hands clean, which is what we were taught in like second grade, giving people personal space. But, we got one extreme or the other, and it's getting worse to the point where literally just threatening people with their medicine, like, oh, well, no chemo for you if you don't take a shot. What? No, we're not supposed to act this way. There is no reason for us to act this way. There's no reason for Karens to walk into a store and yell at people because she doesn't want to wear a mask and cough on people. Like, that bitch should have been pepper sprayed. Like, I've seen videos like that. Bitch should be pepper sprayed. I don't care if this was 10 years ago. Like, if you it's on, they didn't say in the video, the link to the video, that clip is on my Twitter, which probably doesn't help you any, but it was on Twitter and I retweeted it, so. Let me look at it. Let me see if perhaps we can figure out, like, which news channel covered it. So, you go back to it, and you probably look up, it looks like it says CBS, Evening News, I guess volcano eruption. So, I guess, yeah, evacuate as Caribbean volcano erupts. Okay, so that's what it says. But let's hear its actual wording is closer.
After the first volcanic eruption there in more than 40 years, the volcano sent a thick cloud of smoke 20,000 feet into the sky, spewing ash for miles. Cruise ships are evacuating people from the island, but only those vaccinated against COVID.
So it's CBS Evening News, so I guess just try to type it in any way you can, like Caribbean evacuation, COVID, just kind of, yeah. But like this girl here says, we went from vaccine passports being a conspiracy theory to fuck you, die so fast. Like, yeah, that escalated very quickly. So, all right, let me go look at my DMs real quick because, like, I'm not seeing a notification that I've gotten anything. Oh, you reacted to a link. I reacted to a link. Oh, that. Okay, I hadn't gotten to looking at it yet. So, I've seen this woman talk before, and some of it I'm not entirely sure I agree with her presentation. Let me take a gander at it. All right, I go back over. Where am I going? I don't know where I'm going. Okay, wrong window. Hi, Bone. All right. So I haven't seen what all this lady says, so I don't know if I agree with everything she says or not. So, but we're gonna play a video. For me, regardless of her presentation is spot on. Well, right. I mean, she could be. Like, some of it, I think it's adding a little extra in there, but we can look at it and, like, kind of, yeah, break it down. Okay.
About how the Biden administration should restrict people's ability to go about life as normal and give it only to those who are vaccinated. Because
well, the issue with that is the vaccine, like everybody's talking about, and they're saying that you can still catch COVID and you can still spread it if you've had the shot. The only upside they're offering basically is it is supposed to reduce the symptoms. Supposed to reduce the symptoms of it. And the whole, like, that just sounds like a treatment. That doesn't sound like a preventative. So, yeah.
otherwise, people will simply enjoy their freedoms anyway. And can't have that.
I think that there are many more people, millions of people, who, for whatever reason, have concerns about the vaccine, who just don't know what's in it for them. And we need to make it clear to them that the vaccine is the ticket back to pre-pandemic life. And we have a very narrow window to tie reopening policy to vaccination status. Because otherwise, if everything is reopened, then what's the carrot going to be? How are we going to incentivize people to actually get the vaccine?
So basically, she's saying if we open everything, then how do we basically blackmail people into doing what we want them to do? So where's the carrot? Where's the incentive? Well, if your product works, that is the incentive. That's the whole point, because we were promised a vaccine that was 95% effective. I guess, I don't know, and plus we've been having breakthrough cases, is what they call them, where people this entire time have not tested positive for COVID. And after their first or second shot, they suddenly have COVID. So whether the viral vector acted up or whatever, and that is not even including the fact that AstraZeneca's has been causing people to have blood clots. So, but that's a separate thing. But basically, she's like, yeah, if we open things now, then what's the incentive? basically, she's basically saying we're blackmailing people into doing what we want.
So that's why I think the CDC and the Biden administration needs to come out a lot bolder and say, if you're vaccinated, you can do all these things. Here are all these freedoms that you have. Because otherwise, people are going to go out and enjoy these freedoms anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, God forbid that. God forbid you go out and enjoy your freedom anyway. Because we already know it's not 95% effective. We already know that people could spread it and still catch it. They say maybe not as severe, but that's yet to really be seen.
She keeps talking like that, and I'm going to tell her exactly where she can shove her stupid little carrot, because whether this shrew wants to acknowledge it or not, our rights don't come from the government. This is not about carrots and sticks. We're not cattle. Our freedom isn't a carrot to be dangled in front of us to get us to do whatever our overlord.
Something about this woman kind of rubs me the wrong way, but she's right. Like, our freedom should not be dangled in front of us. Like, yeah. And all the small shops, all the independent businesses that have suffered because I'm trying to see if she has any other news clips. Because I'm not super fancy about hearing her talk, honestly. Wow. She talks almost as much as I do. Okay, here we go. So let's see what this is.
Members comes from a group of lab coats who stare at petri dishes all day.
Fully vaccinated people can resume travel at low risk to themselves. For
low risk to themselves. So if I got the shot, I'm not getting the shot for you. So if someone says, if I choose not to get the shot, for instance, and someone goes, well, you're selfish. Actually, one could actually argue easily that I could easily be injected for selfish reasons because it would reduce my symptoms, not yours. And I would be able to travel, and who knows what might happen to you. So really, this is for themselves. So this isn't about protecting other people, really, if that's what she's saying.
Fully vaccinated people do not need to get a COVID-19 test before or after travel and do not need to self-quarantine after.
All right, so if you can spread it, it seems a little strange that you don't need to test yourself for it afterward, and you don't need to quarantine yourself afterward, even though they said before in other articles that we've seen that you could catch it and spread it even though you're vaccinated.
After travel.
Screw right the heck off with that.
Screw right the
But
heck
in the
off.
same exact press conference, that same CDC that just said it was safe for vaccinated people to fly all over creation said it's still not recommended that they travel for unnecessary reasons. So it's safe, but they still shouldn't do it.
And while we believe that fully vaccinated people can travel at low risk to themselves, CDC is not recommending travel at this time due to the rising number of cases.
Well, why wouldn't you be able to do it if you're safe? If you're vaccinated and you can't get the virus or spread the virus and it's safe to move about the cabin, why are you still not recommending it? And for that matter, who says you need to get a needle jabbed into your arm and flash a vaccine passport to travel in the airports and on the roads that we paid for? And while we're on the subject, where is it written that the government can force you to get an injection you don't want as your ticket to go about your life? Because again, we are not talking about a virus anymore, in case that is not painfully obvious at this point. And we haven't been for a long time. The guidance and the rules and all of the contradicting do's and don'ts have not followed the data, which keeps changing depending on who's rolling it out and what they want us to do with it. No masks, then yes masks, then this level of herd immunity, then that one. You have to socially distance at church, but not at Walmart. Your kids can't go to school, but we can pack illegal aliens into a stadium. None of this has ever made any logical sense at all.
Yeah, packing immigrants into a stadium does not seem like a safe idea. So either this virus is a social distance situation or it's not. We can either travel or we can't. But we're going to cram them into stadiums. I think this whole situation has been handled so badly. I don't even know where to start. Like, this chick is okay. I probably paused there at a bad spot because she looks terrible right there.
So
Yeah, it's not much better. It's a little better though. Okay. Like, yeah, something about this chick's voice makes me feel like she's about to ask for my manager, but she's not entirely wrong.
Don't let the powers that be convince you that we're still talking about a virus. We're not. That is a smokescreen meant to guilt you. At this point, you've been doing this long enough to know what you're comfortable with and what you aren't. Now we're talking about power, about control, about the basic principle of who gives us our rights and our freedoms and who doesn't. See, we have a government filled with politicians and experts and talking heads who've adopted the belief that our rights are derived from them, rather than the government being derived from the consent of the governed. Over this past year, they have gotten a nice, good taste of near complete control, and they don't plan on giving it back. And when a government decides that they are the ones who give us our rights and not God Almighty, that is fascism. That's a government that can give and take whatever they want, whenever they want, and you are completely beholden to its whims. If they can choose to strip you of your rights over a virus because it's for public safety, then they can do it with anything, and we've already started seeing it. With guns, climate change, education, they can do it with food they think you shouldn't eat, medical care they think you should or shouldn't get, places they say you shouldn't go, the information they think your kids shouldn't have. It goes on and on and on because now everything is based on their discretion, not your free will. This didn't start with COVID. COVID just exposed it even more, like a cancer. This is why pro-lifers have been screaming at the top of our lungs for years in defense of the right to life, not only to save innocent humans, but because we understand that without a basic respect for life, none of our other rights matter, and they all become subjective. A government that believes that it can deprive a child of their very right to life is one that has no problem depriving you of your right to everything else. And that is exactly what they're trying.
Well, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, she managed to mesh it together, but like, I think the pro-life, pro-abortion side of it, I think that's a kind of a separate subject. Like, I don't think it's necessarily as connected as she says on that one, but that's a separate can of worms and mess that I don't feel like talking about today, for sure. But oh, hey Sentinel, sorry I was full screen, so I couldn't see y'all. Hey Bianca, hold on, let me scroll back up a bit so I can try to let me scroll back, see what I missed. All right, it's the year 2023. I've been able to avoid forced vaccinations, but it's getting harder. But my luck came to an end. Came to and ended tonight. I've just been arrested for trying to buy a fake COVID passport, and I'm being held in jail. Will this be your story too? Yikes! You make that sound like a dramatic movie. Like, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you wrote that in a very dramatic fashion. Like, but hello, Bianca. I was hoping you would see all she said. Well, yeah, I'm interested in news clips and stuff like what the CDC was saying and how like the CDC was saying like it's okay to travel, but we also don't recommend it. That right there is a mess. I don't need her telling me what to think about that. I can come to my own conclusions. That's why a lot of it I kind of skipped over her and was going for the parts where it's showing articles or like news clips, because I can make my own determination just like she can, and so like I don't necessarily need her extra bits in there. I'm not saying she doesn't have a right to say it, but like I mean I get where she's coming from. I do, and I think she may have added a little extra fluff she probably didn't necessarily need, because there was like a few cans of worms she's trying to open all at the same time, and it's kind of a mess. But we were promised a vaccine that was 95% effective. People are under the impression they are selfish if they do not get it, but it turns out it reduces your symptoms if you get the shot, but not necessarily someone else's if you spread it to them. So people are basically turning against each other for this business. This is crazy. Well, presentation matters. I think I could not quite add all. I think I could be a little more condensed and concise with my message, and a little less. I did get the feeling she was about to ask for my manager. I did. I mean, I'm not saying she's wrong, but when you're running for governor, presentation matters. The way you present it and convey it to the audience matters. And I really feel like she was a little, like, I'm not saying everything she said was wrong, like, but like, I mean, she managed to squeeze in her point of view on abortion, which again is her right to have. Absolutely, she is absolutely free to say so. Like, I don't condemn her one way or the other. I just, like I said, I want to look at the parts where the CDC said this and where like this news interview was talking about that. That's the part I wanted. That's the part I needed. I totally understand why she feels the way she does. I mean, she's expressing how we all feel, but that's just me. How a lot of us, usually the wording is appropriate, but yeah, she's expressing how a lot of people feel. You know, and I mean, it's unfair to say all. Not everybody feels this way, but yeah. Hold on a second. Sorry, I have to ask Jason Miller, as one of the DJT's voice, why HR allowed to terminate fetuses but not to be charged. Could you question that a little different? I'm a little confused on that one. I don't know who Jason Miller is. Like, the name doesn't sound familiar. I'm sorry. But yeah. Well, if I think I could I mean, she's got some, don't get me wrong, she's got some fire and some passion in her voice. Do not get me wrong. Like, and I'm not saying everything she said was wrong. But yeah. But basically, yeah. The powers that be, as she said. We were making this incredibly easy on them. If this is the case, we're making it incredibly easy because we treat each other like shit. We ostracize people in the ridiculous way. When I looked at that article about the island being evacuated, one of the people who commented said, well, if you're not willing to get a shot, don't be surprised you get ostracized. There's a difference between ostracized and being left to die on an island with a volcano. That's a big fucking difference. Huge difference. Because that volcano represents a clear and present danger to people on the island. And as dirty as cruise ships have often known to be, with food poisoning and Legionnaire's disease and God knows what all else, and Legionnaire's disease is probably bad filtration of the water, I'm assuming. But the point is, freaking out and leaving people to die on an island because they didn't get a COVID shot when cruise ships are known for being notoriously nasty. That seems like an absolute shit show, an immoral shit show. To leave anyone behind on purpose is just inappropriate. It is. It absolutely is. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to anyone. But the way people have treated each other, people will, especially they'll video themselves acting this way. Like, they know they're going in there to do this, to see what happens. And like, I'm actually half tempted to video myself going into Walmart as well. Because at least the Walmart here, the one near my house, it's like a 50-50, 60-40. Sometimes people wear masks. So some days there's more masks than others. Some won't. But I've walked in there. I have never had anyone come yell at me. But I'm also not close to anybody. I don't like being close to people anyway. So, like, I was social distancing before it was cool. It's my way, my humor with my antisocial behavior. But my point is, but yes, the fact that and we got ourselves in a tricky spot as far as businesses are concerned, because I've said that businesses were free to run their business as they chose, and that started with the gay wedding cake arguments that people had. That even if something you don't approve of, if you choose not to do it, there's always going to be a bakery that's going to be more than glad to take your money if the other bakery won't. Always. It's always going to be somebody who's willing to make that cake for you. Does it? I mean, you can vote with your wallet. It doesn't mean like send the news and send the whole brigade to go harass a business. No. Because you have your rights and so do other people. And we were promised a better vaccine than we got. And especially since they have not, for me, the biggest flaw in cruise ships is people going missing. In cruise liners, there's little or nothing to invest. How often do people go missing on cruise ships? Is there a statistic for that? Now you have me wanting to look that up. That's that. Dave Myers, I'm going to mute myself. Fair enough. And again, that is his right to do. We have a right to speak. People have a right to not listen if they choose. I'll send you the video. Holy hell, you've got a video for everything, don't you? Holy crap, man. Wow. Yikes. But the fact that this vaccine passport business, they never did it. They've never acted like this over a virus anytime in our lifetime. Or, well, depending on how old you are, even before that. But it is an up in the air situation about whether or not to allow people in stores with a mask or without a mask. That is a tough one. That is tough. Things can be avoided because you can technically order things online. Like I know that I can go and have Walmart deliver my groceries. Sometimes it's very shitty selection because they will substitute one thing and try to give you something close enough, but it's not close enough. So it is kind of annoying. But there are options. But people can vote with their wallet as well. So that's another right that we actually have, is we can choose to do business with whoever we please. If you go to one store and they are absolutely rigid and rude beyond words for whatever reason, including mask or no mask, you can just simply turn around and walk off. For God's sakes, I am so tired of seeing those videos of those Karens that are coming in, filming themselves, acting like they're making themselves absolute martyrs for the cause. It's just like don't get me wrong, I understand you have rights. We have rights, or try to keep them, is the thing. That, we have a right to not be persecuted and this and that over something that's supposed to be pretty survivable anyway. But they're handling it so badly. A lot of them. I can't get smudges off my glasses. I hate smudges so much. Give me a minute. But these women who go in there, well, a lot of them are women. They're men too, but most of the videos I've seen are women. And they go in, they're like, I have my rights and this and that, and they just throw a scene that is unreal. I'm just like, oh my God, don't do that, don't. Because the masks, I could take or leave them. I really don't care. If I walk into a store, I kind of read the room. You know what I mean? I kind of read the room. If most people aren't wearing a mask, I won't. I don't care. I'm not gonna hug anybody. I'm not gonna be close to them. I don't care. If a lot of people are, then I'll be like, I'll put it on. Like whatever. I don't care. I'm only gonna be in there for a few minutes. I'm not staying in the store long enough to really give a shit. But to go in there and try to make yourself look like a martyr. For those who are against wearing masks, you're making those people look insane when you scream at people. And this is for any future Karens that may watch this video. Karens or Carls. I guess Carls could be like male Karens. I don't know. I'm not sure what the male Karen is. Is it Chad's? Could be Chad. I don't know. Anyway, Karens of any gender. Go in there and scream. Oh, and the worst part is when they go in and they're like, I have my right not to wear a mask. And they start coughing on the person who's asking them to leave. Never, ever, in our entire lives, ever, in the history of ever, has it been appropriate, socially or otherwise, to cough on somebody on purpose. Fuck. So if I was to say I was against forced mask wearing, like if I said I was against that idea, I mean, if people want to wear it, they can. Just because there's no mask mandate doesn't mean that it's against the law for you to wear a mask. You still can. It's just that other people don't have to. And a lot of people sometimes seem to get that a little confused. At least it seems so. So me, if someone wants to wear a mask, they can. If they don't want to, I don't care. I really don't give a shit. It's totally fine. It's whatever. I mean, nobody gets all cuddled up next to each other at the store anyway. It's not any store I've ever seen. But going in there, screaming, coughing. I'm going to tell you right now, mask or no mask, if a woman comes, like, purposely comes over and starts yelling at me, yelling at me is a terrible idea. God help anyone. But also, if she decides to cough on me, if I have it, I will pepper spray that woman right in the mouth and the nose. Yes, I will. Pretty much if any extremist of either side comes at me sideways, I will spray. I actually probably should buy pepper spray, just in case. I actually don't own any pepper spray. I probably should actually have that in case someone tries to, like, pull me out of my car at a red light or something. It'd probably be a good thing to have. But if someone screams in my face, your rights are being taken, as they're, because I'm wearing a mask, I will also pepper spray said woman or man. I don't discriminate. Yeah. Let's see. I see the video. I came prepared. You come prepared. You do come prepared. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. For me, Karens exist because society never calls out or holds women accountable. Well, there's Kevins are male Karens. Okay, thank you. I wasn't sure. I feel all right because I don't know any Carls and I don't know any Kevins, so I don't have to feel bad about that. And I don't know anyone named Karen either. So I feel okay about this so far. But there's going to be somebody out there with those names going, bitch. So we're sorry in advance if you're not a Karen type. Like, we apologize in advance. All right, so Kevin's and all right, Kevin's. I'll just call them all Karens. Okay. Anyway, I'm not sure how Nate Karen became the name for that. Like I don't know. It just sort of worked though. It kind of just happened. But the ID. I'm trying to figure out if I actually want to get into this or not. Well, it's kind of a different subject though. Like, I don't know. I mean, kind of yes, kind of no, maybe. But I think we've taken it too far. If you want to wear a mask, go ahead, do so. If you don't want to wear a mask, okay. But also, it's important with any social interactions of any kind, as in going out in public in general, read the room. If you like go and check out a store and like some of the people are wearing masks and some are not, looks pretty optional. Take your pick. Try not to cough on anybody. We're good. If everybody's wearing a mask, just try to be quick. Because honestly, sorry, still left over this weather change. Anyway, but those people, I feel bad for them. I feel bad when I say, they're just following orders. That is one of my least favorite terms there is. But those people do not get paid $9 an hour to have you scream in their face over what their boss told them to do. You're not a martyr when you do that. You're an asshole. Please remember that. But we can all be less assholes to each other. At least bring it back to a reasonable level of asshole. Just like, it's more of an accent flavor, more so than the main course of assholeness. That would be nice. For me, Karens exist because, they don't hold, sometimes they don't hold male Karens accountable either. But funny thing is, my grandmother on my mom's side is named Karen, but she also is the complete opposite of a Karen. But that's good. That helps counteract the fact that she's named Karen by not being a Karen. So she can make that work. That's good. But so for anybody who ever watches this video in the future at some point, unless you're not in the past, obviously, the best thing you do if you don't like the store's policy, and for God's sakes, please don't put yourself on YouTube as a martyr when you're making the scene, please. You can look it up. You can find out who's in charge of that company or the franchise, because some franchises people own like their own franchise, and they're basically paid for like the name of the company, but they're not actually part of the actual corporate. If you know what I mean? Like You can write to them, be like, hey, listen, I don't agree with your policy, this. There is more civilized ways to do this because we are pitting, the media encourages and pits us against each other to make us hate each other for any fucking reason, any at all. You get your political beliefs, whether or not you should wear a mask, whether or not vaccines should be forced on people or not, all of these things. And really, when it comes to medical, honestly, a conversation between you and your doctor, well, as long as your doctor isn't trying to blackmail you, you gotta watch out for that. But the point is, you gotta figure out what works for you. You know, if you don't agree with your doctor, you can try to find a different one. There's plenty of doctors out there, about tons of them. But yeah, don't scream at people if they want to wear a mask. Don't scream at them their freedoms are being taken away. Because when you sound like a crazy person, they're not going to want to listen. Like if someone's yelling at me, I at that point I kind of don't give a shit what they have to say. You're not going to win me over with that shit. And I don't think anybody else wants to be won over that way either. Present your case. Be open to dialogue. Be open to me going, well, okay, how about this and this? Without flipping the fuck out. I just hope to God one day I actually have my camera phone ready in case someone actually decides to Karen out on me for whatever reason. That would be awesome. But the best way for us to try to retain our rights is to stop acting like crazy people. Hello, and how are you? Lots of hugs to you. Nice to see you. For those who don't know, God apparently resides in England. Hey, Draven! Man, you got here pretty much at the end of it all. I mean, it doesn't mean I won't stream later, just, yeah. When you call oh my God. When you call who out? Oh, security guards and Karens. At some point, you have got to film that for us. I'm allowed to act like an ass if she acts up more. Aw, well, it's always good to see you or hear from you, since I can't actually see you, obviously. But yeah, I don't know how long you were there. Oh, I'm okay. I saw this news clip that a volcano. This is what started this all. Was a volcano was erupting in the Caribbean, and the cruise ships are evacuating everybody off the island as long as they've had a COVID shot. So I'm guessing those who may not have had access to a COVID shot or whatever are going to be left to die, I guess, because that's not what other options they got, unless it's, they can find someone who's got another boat to let them on. But the idea that, I mean, the ships are very big. You can separate them, but people with vaccine passport and those who don't, or medical record, something, at least in this particular emergency. But to only evacuate people who've had a COVID shot onto cruise ships that are already nasty and dirty and probably have Legionnaire's disease seems a bit excessive. And I bought myself a body camera for my birthday, so if I meet a Karen, I'll send it to you. That sounds fantastic. We may have a thing. Every time you have like a couple of videos, we can like do a video about it. It'll be fucking great. You'd be like, hold on, this is the part where I told her to go fuck herself. Yeah, it'd be fucking hilarious. It'd be marvelous. But yes, I thought that the idea though of leaving people stuck on an island where a volcano is erupting because they didn't get a shot, I really feel that that's just a bit much. And that's why, like, have we gone too far with this? I mean, people on both sides have gone entirely too far. Not everybody, like the ones that are way on polar opposites have gone way too far. You're literally leaving people on an island that's turning into Mount Vesuvius and shit because they didn't get a shot. People are being threatened with their health. Like one lady was being told she wouldn't be allowed to have her chemo treatment anymore if she didn't get the shot. I thought people were supposed to try to get that herd immunity to protect people like her, not blackmail her with her own treatment. And I have a friend of mine who takes heart medicine, And his doctor told him that he wouldn't give him medicine anymore if he didn't take the shot. Because you may or may not die from COVID, but if you don't have your heart medicine, you're probably going to die. Like, that's almost a guarantee. And it's like, well, if you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to make sure you die. That's basically the vibe I get from doctors like this. That's a terrible idea. The thought scares the hell out of me. I'm really shocked that that even happened. But yeah, exactly. That's disgusting. It is. It is disgusting. I mean, we shouldn't do this to ourselves. I mean, we're going to run into people who don't always agree with the way we think. But to blackmail people with their own health, to threaten them, or like even in England, like, oh, some people were having, like, I don't even know how many people were there. It wasn't necessarily a whole lot, but they were having some kind of religious service of some sort, and the cops came into the house. Like, I guess someone ratted them out, and I mean, that happened multiple times actually, and they were like, no, get out, come back when you have a warrant, get out of my house, and he ran them out, and it worked. But the fact they've arrested so many people for having a church even in their house, and it's probably only a small few people. I mean, it can't fit as many people as a whole church. But the point is, and I'm not even like much of a fan of going to church, really. But that's still their right to do. And especially if they're adults. They can consent. Like the same way I am old enough. Oh, that kind of ran out. Man, I don't blow my smoke in other people's faces. Hi, multi-gun. It goes against the doctor's oath to first do no harm. Exactly, the Hippocratic oath. It absolutely does. It's insane. BS to me is withholding meds is tyrannical. It is. It's a fact that there's not even a law. There's not even a law that says you have to, in America, at least as far as I know, that you have to have the shot. So the doctor who does this it's not even that he's like trying to follow the law. He's just, hey, you better do what I tell you, or I'm making sure that you don't get your life-saving medicine. He's choosing to do this. There's no law that says he has to do this. He's choosing to do this. They should lose, any doctor who does this should lose their license immediately. Absolutely. I mean, give them a hearing, usual bullshit. But hey, Slasher, how are you? Snitches get stitches. Not entirely sure where that came from, but okay. But we have got to stop doing this. We've got to stop playing this game. Like, if you want to wear a mask, cool, do you. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't freak out, okay? Don't scream at people who work for $9 an hour because you don't like it and then cough on them. No. If you cough on people on purpose, I hope you get pepper sprayed. I'm sorry. Because, yeah, I'm against forcing people on a lot of things. And, but if I see you doing that, I'm going to, knock you out. Sorry. Don't cough on me. Anybody who is against the idea of having being forced to wear a mask, you make that whole group look like crazy people when you're the loud voice that gets seen and heard. Don't speak for me, honey. Don't. Just stop. Stop yourself. I'll speak for me. Thank you. You said something about church getting Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, someone... I can't necessarily say they should get shanked, but, I can understand someone's temptation to think it. Because that's pretty fucked up. Churches are closed, and then people have to basically have church service in secret and hiding in their house. Never at any time in history when people have had to resort to that, has it ever gone well. It doesn't. It doesn't. And if you refuse treatment or whatever from a doctor, they're supposed to give you whatever you're willing to take to try to help you. And then be like, well, I hope the best for you. All right. And they shouldn't blackmail you. We're supposed to be able to trust our doctors. And if they do that, they're not much of a doctor. Because like I said, in this particular case, at least the state of Oklahoma, it's not even a law. It's not even against the law not to get the shot. So the doctor just chose to be an asshole. He wasn't following orders. He was being a prick. It's at his discretion, but It's very bad discretion. Your discretion is held to a higher standard when people's lives depend on you. So threatening to not give people chemo or their heart medicine, oh, they can absolutely go fuck themselves as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so yeah, Slasher wasn't here for it, but like, I'll show him. I'm gonna show that video again because I was so astounded by that video. Like I couldn't believe it. They were gonna leave people on. Well, they may have. Like I don't even know the follow up on that situation. But the idea of anyone leaving people on an island to die because of the volcano is. It's okay. I'm just gonna have to like find my fucking profile. Clearly. There we go. Quickly now. All right, so I'll play this for Slasher.
40 years, the volcano sent a thick cloud of smoke 20,000 feet into
Trying to rewind it for you.
eruption there. In more than 40 years, the volcano sent a thick cloud of smoke 20,000 feet into the sky, spewing ash for miles. Cruise ships are evacuating people from the island, but only those vaccinated against COVID. After the first volcano.
So yeah, I would like to see the whole report, as BL Group was mentioning. He's probably looking for that right now and looking it over. But yeah, telling people, like, I mean, yeah, we're going to evacuate people from the island because of the volcano, but only if they had their shot. So you're actually willing to leave people to die for something that's not even a law. It's not even breaking the fucking law. And you're going to leave them to die? Are you fucking kidding? I think I've had about enough of this planet. I want off. Anyway, but that's my show. That's my bitching. Managed to keep it under an hour so far. I'll probably stream later. Maybe. We'll see what's on, because like every night seems to be a hot night for people to stream. So yeah. If I can manage to weasel in a live stream or something, I will do so. Sounds pretty horrific. It is. That is a horrific thing to do. I mean, I almost wouldn't have believed it if I had seen the actual news or saying CBS Evening News. Like, if I would almost thought it's like somebody was exaggerating. Like, I was hoping that was like some Babylon Bee, like they're just fucking around. Like, no. Although weirdly enough, Babylon Bee has actually probably been more accurate, even though it's satire than almost anything else. Like sometimes they have to really up it extra just so you know it's actually still satire. Like, it's too bad. Oh, well, yeah, but the movie. Wait, are we watching Plan 9 from Outer Space or something else? Because like Plan 9, I can do that, but the other one, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can sit through it. But yeah, okay. So all right. So I might not. Well, I don't know what time I'm going to do it though. I forgot. But there's a chance that if I'm streaming, I'll probably be streaming with Slasher. So we'll figure that out. Just pay attention to Twitter and notifications on YouTube. We'll figure it out. So, anyways, but love you all. Try hard not to be dicks to each other. I know this day and age is difficult, but everybody just try. Okay? Love y'all.